Bombshell report. This country meddled more in our 2016 election than Russia. By Amy Moreno for truthfeednews.com. A new bombshell report from the Gateway Pundit exposes how another country played a bigger role in meddling in our 2016 than Russia did. While Russia was busy putting up a few Facebook ads and trolling on Twitter, the real meddlers were across the pond in the United Kingdom. According to the report from the Gateway Pundit, when you stack up the evidence, it's the Brits who Mueller should be investigating, not the Russians. And they know this, and they know this. This was all a setup. Come on. You know, it's just like nerve-wracking. From the Gateway Pundit, as Joe Hoft at the Gateway Pundit reported earlier this week, there is now solid evidence that proves a foreign government meddled in the 2016 U.S. election. But the government identified is the UK, not Russia. After more than a year of the Mueller investigation, millions of dollars in the mainstream media relentlessly attacked President Trump. What do we have? Nothing really. President Trump tweeted in February that that if the goal of Russia was to create discord in the U.S., then they have succeeded. They are laughing their butts off in Moscow. Get smart, America. I say the same thing. Since this tweet, the Russia fairy tale has fallen apart. Corrupt Mueller and his team of conflicted, biased, and corrupt and angry Democrat investigators and attorneys have found nothing related to their target, President Trump. And now their indictments are unraveling. As the Russia meddling into the 2016 U.S. election unwinds, the meddling by the UK is becoming more and more apparent. Christopher Steele, we've known for over a year that the Clinton campaign and the FBI worked with former UK MI6 spy Christopher Steele, who authored a dossier of salacious statements about President Trump. Steele was reportedly paid by Fusion GPS for the document. Steele was paid $168,000 by Glenn Simpson's company, Fusion GPS, for the series of memos containing information that was selectively briefed by journalists, approved by Simpson, and used by the FBI. The Steele dossier was never verified and is suspected of being a total fiction. This act alone by a spy from the UK is troubling enough, but that's not it. Joseph Mifsud, George Papadopoulos, the lower-level campaign worker for the Trump campaign, appears to have been targeted by three individuals with ties to British and/or U.S. intelligence. Joseph Mifsud, Alexander Downer, and Stefan Halper. Mifsud and Papadopoulos obtained positions at an organization named the Center for International Energy and Natural Resources Law and Security. Papadopoulos was a nobody, and the center, sketchy at best. Mifsud vanished in early November of 2017, shortly after Papadopoulos was in the news and indicted. His whereabouts are still unknown. Although the common story is that Mifsud is a Russian agent, many ties seems to lead him back to UK intelligence. Julian Assange put out a Twitter thread noting the connection between Mifsud and the UK intelligence. And they left out that yesterday news about Mifsud's connections to George Soros. So shouldn't this raise a lot of red flags? Mifsud went missing all of a sudden. And yesterday I reported on from the Gateway Pundit that he has ties to Soros. Alexander Downer. Although not a Brit, Alexander Downer is the Australian individual who apparently overheard Papadopoulos talk about Trump and Russia in a bar, which alerted the FBI to the story and their eventual spy program on Trump. This story has been refuted for months. The Papadopoulos/Downer meeting has been portrayed as a chance encounter. Yeah, right. Yeah, like we're really going to believe that. And then the FBI was notified. Really? It's a setup in a bar. That does not appear to be the case. Downer has direct ties to UK intelligence firm Lewitt, where he served on the advisory board from 2008 to 2014. Shortly after the Papadopoulos and Downer chance encounter, Peter Strzok was in London, per text released by the FBI. Strzok text suggests he was in London on August 3rd, 2016. The corrupt FBI's investigation into Trump officially started a few days earlier. This was all a setup. And you see what's going on in the UK. The last line of defense, I should say, is America. The deep state is in cahoots with the UK to turn America to what the UK is today, to silence people and not be allowed to speak and to be mere serfs. Take away the rights, to carry rights, turn off the presses. You can't report, like a dictatorship, in other words. Now we're getting to Stefan Halper, the other individual that was paid over $1 million with proof. One individual all over the internet and social media by the name of Stefan Halper has been identified as a potential FBI spy into the Trump campaign. Note that some believe that Obama may have had more than one spy on the Trump campaign. You think? The most intriguing individual related to Papadopoulos is Halper, according to Jeff Carlson at MarketWorks. Markets work. Okay, my guess is Papadopoulos never knew what hit him. A young man suddenly thrust in a position beyond his experience. Papadopoulos made for an easy intelligence target. Carter Page almost certainly discussed the just completed Moscow trip with his host, Stefan Halper, during the London symposium. It's now being reported that Devin Nunes has learned the identity of a top-secret intelligence source that was part of the FBI's counterintelligence investigation. I think there's a decent chance that the source is Stefan Halper. Halper had contact with both Papadopoulos and Carter Page. Halper has connections to the UK intelligence and US intelligence. Halper met with Carter Page just days after Page's Moscow trip. Other internet sleuths tied Halper to the Obama team of crooks. Halper was paid more than $400,000. It's about $1 million if you go back. Anyway, to get him to sing to the Australian diplomat about Hillary's emails being held by the Russians. All a setup, folks. All a setup. It's like a stage play. That's what the FBI was setting up for Papadopoulos in order to start all this crap. Shows you that Strzok went down. It's unbelievable. I mean, the information is there. They have it. I don't know why they're holding off on taking these people down. Halper and others planted this information on Papadopoulos before he shared this with the Aussie in a drunken London pub discussion. Additional research shows that Halper was a classmate of impeached President Bill Clinton. Halper apparently knew Bill Clinton well in their days at Oxford. So what does this tell you? He later worked as an advisor on the Clinton administration. Come on. I mean, we have so much proof and evidence. Robert Hannigan. Hannigan has been head of the GCHQ, and he suddenly resigned in January of this year. Hannigan only took over at the UK Surveillance Agency in November of 2014 to oversee a more open approach after revelations by the National Security Agency whistleblower Edward Snowden put GCHQ on the defensive in 2013. His sudden resignation, he informed staff just hours before making this decision public, prompted speculation that it might be related to British concerns over shared intelligence with the U.S. in the wake of Donald Trump becoming president. But the GCHQ press release stressed his decision was exclusively for family reasons, as well as his ill wife. Hannigan has 2 elderly parents to look after. He will remain in post until a successor is appointed. It's still not known what, if any, connection to the Trump-Russia collusion fantasy Hannigan may have had. On Friday, reporter Paul Speary posted more evidence of the UK was meddling in the 2016 election. The British deep state feared Donald Trump like they feared Brexit. They were part of the same movement and both posed a threat to the political ruling class on both sides of the pond. Dossier author Christopher Steele opposed Brexit like he opposed Trump. And it's worth noting that the dossier hack, Christopher Steele, adamantly opposed Brexit, hated it as much as he hated Trump. And all of the deep state hacks took turns traveling to the UK during the election for, quote, business. Price, Stapp, Strzok, Page, McCabe, and Michael Gaeta, FBI agent from Rome, all traveled to London during the campaign. Brennan, this is the key player here, Brennan, also made trips. You see, Brennan orchestrated this whole scenario. Congressional oversight demands a full accounting of who they met with and whether British intelligence also spied on Page. What? Unbelievable. And other U.S. citizens? Of course they did. In summary, based on information to date, the UK had more to do with interfering in the U.S. 2016 presidential election than Russia. The Obama team and the Clinton campaign spied on the Trump administration and used the entire government apparatus, including the CIA, FBI, and the DOJ and others, to do so. It appears they also had help from the UK. These crooks were willing to risk World War III with Russia. That's what they wanted if Hillary had gotten in, rather than face a Trump presidency. This all leads to the question, what is so damning that these individuals would go to such brazen lengths to remove President Trump from office? This is clearly 100 times, I would say 1,000 times worse than Watergate. The whole thing is because if Trump got in, he would expose the criminality. That's what they were afraid of. But the whole plan is the New World Order. That's what the UK is doing. They're letting in the migrants. For what? To take down everybody. The last stand is America. I keep repeating it. They want us to become like the UK, the deep state. They're working for George Soros. That's the whole plan. Bottom line. That's the whole plan. America is the last, like they say, the last man standing, like the Tim Allen show. America is the last man standing, and that is what they're working on. This is the whole plan, and Trump would totally annihilate their globalistic ways. Trump is for America. Why do you think the Democrats are fighting so hard to erase our history, to take away our rights, freedom of speech? They've indoctrinated the kids. Kids don't even understand when you're speaking to them what you're trying to say. They don't understand what you're telling them. The only thing they know about is what Kim Kardashian is doing, because that's how they program the children today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.